All right, good morning, everyone. Kick it off. All right, U.S. markets, another pretty much more or less sideways session yesterday. The S&P finished up 1 point on the day, very exciting. And you can see there, I don't think we had more than a 5 point swing the entire day on the S&P, which is really just unbelievable. There's just nothing to really get out there and move markets at the moment, or nothing obviously that they saw. After hours, we did have a few things. We had eBay and we had Netflix. They both came out and crushed it. There's also some rumors on eBay. I believe Carl Icahn looking to force some hands there, but Netflix I think was up 17% after hours on a huge beat on subscriber numbers and on earnings. So we also had IBM and Texas Instruments that were out yesterday during the day, and they were a little bit heavy, but not enough obviously to really weigh the index down too much. I mean, the Dow was only down 40 points. So, like we said, nothing enough to really get the market going hard in one direction or the other. All right, we've got Asian markets lower across the board. We've got preliminary Chinese factory activity numbers that were at the 6-month low and below the 50 level, which supposedly signals contraction. Whether that's actually the case, who knows? But like we said before, we've got to continue to monitor Chinese data very closely. There's definitely a bit of a smell in the air around China and the entire shadow banking industry. And we have the People's Bank of China as well that limited the losses to some degree after injecting funds in the interbank market again because of the interbank lending rates were pushing higher again. Remember we talked about that. Literally said 2 days ago. They intervened again. I think over the weekend. It was the second time they've come in now in about 3 or 4 weeks. Let's see how quickly they have to come back in. They're already back in 2 days later. To me, that's incredibly worrying, and I think, like I said, I think it potentially could be the biggest story of the year. We'll keep you up to date on that. All right, today before the bell, we've got McDonald's out in the States. We've got Union Pacific, and then after the bell, we've got Starbucks and Microsoft. So a real wide swath of industries there. We had the AMCU, which starting strikes today at Amplats and Paula's and Lawnman, but the gold workers have reported for duty today. So, it's a story that I think is getting a little bit played out now, but hasn't seemed to had a big impact on the mining stocks as of yet. All right, a lot of data out today with South Korean quarter 4 GDP. We're showing that South Korean numbers simply because a lot of people they're calling South Korea the canary in the coal mine these days, dead in line, the actual numbers. We also had, like we said, the HSBC PMI numbers out of China, which were lower than expected. Later, we've got French PMI numbers, we've got German PMI numbers, we've got Spanish unemployment, we've got European PMI numbers. And then in the States, we've got the Chicago Fed and activity index. We've got jobless claims. We've got a house price index. We've got existing home sales leading index, and then also we've got consumer confidence in Europe later. So this is the biggest day, I think, over the next week and a half. This is the biggest day of data that we're going to have. So just keep your eye on it today. I don't expect anything too big maybe before jobless claims too market moving, but there's a lot of data to pay attention to today. Unless there's a shocker, I don't see it being a big market mover early on. All right, let's have a look at the maps. Another day kind of a fail yesterday on the Aussie. I'll just have a quick look at that. But bottom line is, once again, I think we ended up closing maybe a little bit above where we opened, but we still haven't managed to punch through the 42,400 level. And you can see there, there's not a hell of a lot of pullback at the level at the moment. This morning we've only opened up down 73 points. Obviously, the weak rand is going to support markets here, but to an extent, but the fact of the matter is, I mean, we're either getting ready to pop to the upside very soon, or we're going to break down all this level. So we're going to have a big, quite a reasonable move in my mind coming out of the Aussie in the next few sessions. So just keep a close eye on that as we start to move, off of that level, 300 points, 300 points in either direction. I think we'll be able to take a position. All right. Mr. Price, first one we're going to look at here. Retailers had a nice day of bounces yesterday across the board. 158, the level where we've kind of dropped support on the way down, and really we put in that big down day, and to me, in my mind, kind of signified the what's to come for some of these for some of these retailers. That maybe there's some more bloodshed to come. Usually when you put in these big massive candles, if you do move out to the side or up a few days, it's limited, and then the massive candle is really a signal of the direction over the next little while. We're only about $3, or we are only exactly 3 rand from that level at 158. So might not be a bad little area, a little idea to fade up here closer to 158. Just keep it in mind the next few sessions if it does fail at 158. Right, I'm going to show both I'm going to show MTN and I'm going to show Vodacom here. We're going to take this thing more from the closes here. We've been watching this kind of move out to the right this whole time, flagging literally. Very well supported, to be quite honest. I mean, it hasn't traded incredibly well, but we didn't get a big correction here at all. I mean, we pushed up from 190 rand to 220 rand in a matter of 10 days, and we've only really been able to give up about $10 to that 30 rand move. So it's held up incredibly well. You can see as of yesterday's close, we really pushed out the top of that flag pattern there in MTN. I'm not incredibly bullish on these things, but technically the maps are looking more positive here. Vodacom also the same, exact same sort of flag pattern. I know it didn't run as hard necessarily to the upside. In fact, percentage-wise, it probably did. But same sort of thing. We've been flagging out to the right for the better part of 10 sessions. We've just popped out to the top side of that, and I think technically the target's reasonably higher. All right. Next one we're going to have a look at is Life Healthcare. We talked about this. I think if you go back here to 2 year, this is what we looked at this chart a couple days ago, and we talked about us coming down and testing support. I think it was 2 days ago exactly what we talked about it. When we came down and we dropped below, and then we came in and closed right at support, right at the 200 day. Yesterday was really a reversal day off of that support, I think, and further reiterates the level, and also it's definitely bullish. I mean, the chart, the reason why I went out to a 2 year here is just to see that this chart is still long-term bullish. It's managing to hold, consolidates, pushes higher, consolidates, pushes higher. It's been the pattern here. We're getting the same sort of setup again. We just had a reversal after several down days. Might not be a bad place to have a look. And the last one I'm going to show is Into Properties, ITU here. I didn't even realize this thing was part of the top 40 until I was just kind of going through it a second ago. But beautiful continuation pattern setting up here. And what I also like is really, I know we roughly got above this in a couple of instances, but more or less that's definitely 52 was a definite line of resistance. When we popped through that, we topped out at 56. We came back down, tested 52, but for literally a week, and then we pushed up nicely higher than that. I'd set a target at $60. You can maybe look for a touch more, but definitely $60 I think is the target on the move, potentially the upside in ITU. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.